Hello students, welcome back. Today we are going to study about adaptation in plants. In my last video, we studied about adaptation in animals. You already know the meaning of adaptation. Adaptation is the special features that plants and animals possess to be able to survive in their natural surroundings or their habitat. So today we are going to see what are the special features that plants have in order to survive in their natural surroundings. So depending on where the plant lives, that is depending on its habitat, plants are classified into terrestrial and aquatic. Now, terrestrial plants are plants that grow on land. They are found in the plains, in the mountains and hilly areas, in deserts, in marshy areas, in coastal areas, in grasslands and in the rainforest. Now we are going to study each one of them. Now we come to plants in the plains. In geography, you have already studied the different physical divisions of our country. So the plains are places where the climate is not too hot or not too cold. In such places, the plants have a lot of branches. They shed their leaves in winter. Some examples of plants or trees that grow in the plains are mango trees, the gulmohar, the banyan tree. These are trees that grow in the plains, where these plants have a lot of branches and they shed their leaves in winter. Next, we come to plants that grow in the mountains or the hilly areas. You know, these places, mountains and hills, they are cool. The climate is cool there. Higher in the mountains, there is snowfall. So these plants or these trees that grow there, the trees are tall, straight and cone-shaped. The leaves are needle-shaped. Why are they cone-shaped? They are cone-shaped so that the snow or the rain water can slide down very easily. Some of the examples of trees that grow in these areas are fir, pine and cedar. You can see the snow here on the trees, the cone-shaped trees and the needle-shaped leaves. Next, we come to plants that grow in the desert. Now, the desert, as you know, is a dry, hot, sandy area. It does not have a lot of rainfall. It rains very, very little in the desert. Now, these plants that grow in the desert have roots that go deep into the ground in search of water. Some examples are date palms and different kinds of cacti. Now the cactus does not have leaves. Instead of leaves, it has spines in order to reduce loss of water. Now the stem is green in color. It has chlorophyll. So the function that the leaves do usually, that is photosynthesis, is done by the stem in the case of cactus. It is green in color, so it can photosynthesize. The stem of cactus also stores water. It is mucilaginous. It has mucilage and it stores water. Next, we come to plants that grow in marshy areas. Now, marshy areas have a clayey soil that is like clay and it is covered in water. So the plants that grow in marshy areas, the roots of these plants are not able to get air. So these roots come out of the clay, come out of the water in order to take in air. So these roots are called breathing roots, and the plants that grow in marshy areas are called mangroves. Next, we come to plants or trees that grow in coastal areas along the coast. Some of the plants that grow along the coast are sugarcane, coconut trees, and rubber trees. Now these trees are long, tall, and straight. They are strong. They are strong because they need to withstand strong winds that blow along the coast. These plants also have scaly and hairy leaves. Next, we come to the plants that grow in the grasslands. Now, in the grasslands, there isn't sufficient rainfall, so we do not have many trees that grow there, but there is a lot of grass. You can see a lot of grass. Now, the root system of the grass is very strong. The roots are very strong so that they do not get uprooted when these animals are grazing there. And the grasses here also have leaves that are narrow, not very broad leaves. The leaves are very narrow, again, so that there isn't loss of water, too much of loss of water. Now we come to plants in the rainforest. Now a rainforest is a place where there is very heavy rainfall. Lots of plants grow here. There is very dense vegetation. Now can you see here a picture? There are different plants that grow here. There are vines that climb on other trees in order to reach the top where they can get sufficient sunlight. So they reach right on top of the canopy where they have their leaves and flowers. The trees growing here have tall trunks, thin and tall stems, so that they can grow right up in order to reach the sunlight. The leaves of the plants in the rainforest have a drip tip. Now a drip tip helps the rainwater to slide along the surface of the leaf so that water does not remain on the leaves. What will happen if the rainwater remains on the leaves is the leaves will begin to rot. So these plants have leaves that have a drip tip. They have trunks that are tall and thin and allow trees to reach the sunlight. You can see tall and thin trunks. Then you have woody vines. You can see here the woody vines that climb up the trees to reach the sunlight. Their leaves and flowers, the leaves and flowers of these woody vines grow on the canopy. What is the canopy? The topmost branches of other trees. Next, we come to aquatic plants. Aquatic plants are plants that grow in water. There are three types of aquatic plants: floating, fixed, and underwater. Let us first take the floating aquatic plants. These are plants that grow on the surface of the water. These plants are spongy and light in weight. Examples are the water hyacinth and duckweed. Next, we come to fixed aquatic plants. These plants have their roots fixed in the bed of the pond or the lakes. They have hollow stems and their leaves have a waxy coating. The leaves float on the surface of the water Examples are the water lily and lotus. Next, we come to underwater plants. These plants grow under the surface of the water. They are submerged in water. They have thin, narrow and long leaves. They keep the pond clean by taking in the carbon dioxide that is given out by aquatic animals. These plants take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. This is how they keep the pond clean. Examples are tape grass and pondweed. Next we come to insectivorous plants. These are plants that grow in soil that is not very rich in nutrients. So these plants have features that can trap insects. They secrete a digestive juice that is able to digest the body of the insect and take in the required nutrients. This is the Venus flytrap. Can you see the leaves have hair on the margin? Now when an insect comes in contact with these hair, the leaf closes and traps the insect. The insect is then digested by the plant. I have here sundew. These tentacles trap the insect. When the insect touches these tentacles, they close and trap the body of the insect. Similarly, I have the pitcher plant here. This is like a pitcher. It has a leaf. When the insect lands into the pitcher or touches the rim of the pitcher, this lid closes, trapping the insect. Next we come to non-green plants. These are plants that do not have chlorophyll, hence they cannot make their own food. Now Cuscuta is a parasite. It grows on another plant. That plant is called the host. So what Cuscuta does is it grows on the host and takes the nutrition, the required nutrition from the host plant. That is why it is called a parasite. Here I have two examples of the coral root and the Indian pipe. These are saprophytes. What they do is they take nutrition from dead and decaying matter. What they do is they secrete a digestive juice that converts this dead and decaying matter into liquid form. Then they absorb this liquid from the dead and decaying matter and take in their required nutrients. So children, this is how plants have adaptations to survive in their surroundings. Thank you.